Okay, we're in and we are live. Hello, everybody. Welcome to RPL F2, Season 11, Round 8. We are at the Netherlands, and I am very late to the session. I believe this is Sprint Race 1, and at the moment, it's SLR Griffiths and Flynn, P1 and P2. My apologies for just forgetting that this exists. Okay. Let's have a look at where the on-track battles are. You have this happening between RPL Egg and Rage Panda. Of course, in this round, past champions are allowed to race, and RPL Egg has significant damage to that automobile. Behind him, you've got Rage Panda. Let's see if he can overtake RPL Egg in the high-tech. Here he comes. He's going to go to the outside. He's got the DRS, he's got the speed, and he has the position, but Egg fights back. And they make contact, heavy contact. Egg really manhandling his way past Panda there, holding the spot with that heavy damage. Behind him, QBR20 Term, also with heavy damage, as RPL Jordan tries to work his way past. AK in 8th, Leon 9th, Groggers 10th. At the moment, it's a 1-2 for the high-tech crew. Then you got Corey Marshall in P12 in the Campus. Behind him, it's Titan in the Artifact in P11. And then way back, it's TMSMA's Bourbon, TRL Stig, and Padre, who are having a shit day. Liam's and Wavy Knife out. And it's Griffiths and Flynn and Wookie, P1, P2. Back to the battle for 4th, though. It's Panda and Egg. And it's Panda, I think, who has the DRS. But it's Egg with the speed. And down the inside goes Egg. And now, Term wants a look at it as well. Egg still holding the position. I believe this is the sprint, one of the sprint races. And oh, Panda gets a terrible run through that corner. Through the banked final corner now. He's got to worry about defending against Term here. Here comes Term to the inside. Who breaks later? They break pretty equally. But it looks like Panda's going to hold the outside as Egg lags, which forces Panda to back off. And now he's lost another spot. And this 3-car battle has now become a 5-car battle. And Leon has had a moment, and now Artifact has gotten by. And this is now a 5-car fight as somebody's crashed. It is Bourbon, and that is the championship leader, Bourbon. He has had a moment. And look at this battle continuing to ensue as Term and Panda really going at it, and I believe Artifact is out of the race. Artifact has had a moment, and he is out. And this fight continues. Now it's a 6-car battle. Here comes Term, round the outside of Panda, and he's gonna clear him as there's contact. Groggers got into the back of Panda. Now Panda has been sent into P11, no, P9. Leon is in 10th, and now he's got to worry about Corey Marshall. Meanwhile, Jordan and Groggers. Groggers, of course, he had the slight incident. And ahead of them, that's Term and Egg. Going on here! Yes, that's Egg! Egg is out! Egg is out! And fun! And the VSC has been deployed. So technically, Leon did not lose any positions. He's holding on to P11. I don't know what this is. And VSC has now been deployed after a collision between Term and Egg. They have collided, and now Egg comes off second best. Unfortunately, Egg is out, and Term could be in a bit of trouble here. VSC is out on lap 9 of lap 13. And the green flag is back out. This is Leon and Titan going wheel to wheel, 2 goats. And Leon has overtaken Titan as Titan mounts the death curb, but he stays alive. Meanwhile, ahead of them, it's this million-car battle. Right now, it's Jordan, Groggers, and Panda. Then ahead of them, it's AK and Term. It's the 2 Carlins going at it as well. And then behind them, there's more as somebody's crashed. It's a Trident. It is Padre. And more battling going out. This is Rage, Panda, and Groggers. Panda probably not happy with what happened before. How close can Panda get? That is a car going painfully wide. That's AK. This battle is still heating up. And now it's AK, Term, Jordan, Groggers, and Panda. Behind them, it's Corey Marshall, Leon, and then Titan in P11. And then actually, there's a battle for P12 as well. That is TMS Amazed and Bourbon. And Bourbon makes the move on that ghost car. And now this big DRS train. And AK holding P4 for now as Term breaks super late. And Groggers breaks even later. And now Groggers could be under pressure. Groggers now, he wants to look around the outside of RPL Jordan. Can't get it done, but he gets a nice run out of the corner. He could have a look. And they are going wheel to wheel. Groggers has the inside, and Groggers clears him, and now he's going to clear Term as well. What a move that was. Term, he lost many spots in that corner, and now he's lost another spot. He's down to 8th. We'll see if Term can maybe get back past Panda here for P7. But at the moment, it doesn't look like it. He's got damage as SLR Griffiths sets the fastest lap. And now Flynn sets the fastest lap. Panda and Term collide. And Term is around. He has come off second best. And he drops to P9. It's not gone well for Term. And we have 2 laps to go. And here comes Groggers and AK. What happens here? Groggers breaks later, but can he hold the position? AK's right there. And it looks like Groggers has cleared AK out of turn 1. Position 4 now belongs to Groggers. The Red Bull Academy doing quite well in this race. AK in 5th. Jordan in the Prema in P6, and then you got the MP of Panda in 7th. The 8th belongs to Corey Marshall, as Term finally gives up and pits, and now this puts Leon into P10 as he tries to close in on RPL Titan for P9 as Titan goes wide. Back to the battle, the big battle. This is for P4, Groggers, AK, Jordan, and Panda. We've had a few cars drop out of this fight. Egg, Term, as Term has been overtaken by TMS Amazed and Stig. AK does have some damage as Griffiths has started his final lap. And can Groggers hold P4 in the high-tech? Got the Carlin as well. They are trying to break the toe as much as they can. Does anyone send one? AK sends one, and he destroys his teammate. And then Jordan half spins as well. What happened there? I mean, I can't tell you that AK completely missed his braking zone and almost killed Groggers. Groggers could have diffuser damage from that. Jordan had a half spin, and Panda also came off second best in that. Corey Marshall now has a chance at taking P7 here. And oh my goodness, the 2 Red Bull Academy drivers have crashed. Groggers and AK, the Red Bull Academy drivers, have bottled it completely. And now Corey Marshall runs in 6th. And out of the final corner comes SLR Griffiths. He's dominated this race, and he wins. As Groggers is out, Flynn is in 2nd. What's happened to Groggers? He is out. He has crushed it. It's not gone well for him. As Wookie comes around the final corner to take P3 in this race, RPL Jordan and Wookie now, or RPL Jordan and Panda battling for 4th place. Could Panda maybe get him up the drag race to the line? Doesn't look like he will. He'll get DRS. Jordan will defend as much as he can, but he just holds on to 4th place. Marshall 6th, and AK is in big trouble here to finish 7th. Leon. Looks like Leon's going to score a point here. He finishes in 8th place. Titan 9th. And Bourbon, after making a pit stop, he will be finishing in 10th as Terms bottled it again. So, well, that's that race done. Quite a bit of action there. And here comes Term to cross the line. He's the last one, and he's put it in the wall, and he's done. P12 for QBR Term. Rage Panda is awarded with Driver of the Day. So that's that. In this race, that was Sprint Race 1, and it's SLR Griffiths, the victor. Bourbon Boy, he's got reverse grid pole, I believe, and then it's Titan and Leon, P2, P3. So, which means Bourbon's probably not gonna make it to turn 1. AK, he's in trouble. Big trouble. He kind of killed Groggers, and according to Jordan, he killed him too. AK finishes 7th. It's Corey Marshall, Panda, Jordan, Wookie, Flynn, and Griffiths that round out the field for Sprint Race 2. Sprint Race 1 has been completed. Pole position went to Flynn in qualifying. And the fastest lap belongs to Griffiths in the first race, and I believe that is Griffiths' first win. I don't know. Alright, so that's Sprint Race 1. Sprint Race 2 still to come. And we'll actually be able to watch the start this time. There is no more formation lap in F2. That started a few races ago, and now we begin the second sprint race. Here we go. Ten more seconds before lights out here. And Bourbon will be on pole position. We'll see if he can turn that into a victory and an increase in his championship lead. Here we go. 5 red lights. It's F2, Sprint Race 2. And it's lights out and away we go. Bourbon gets away well. Titan does too. Leon trying to hold off third with AK in fourth. AK sends it into turn 1. Him and Leon make slight contact. They all get through turn 1 pretty cleanly. And it's Bourbon, Titan, and AK. Your top 3. AK. What can he do? Ooh, the MP's going wheel to wheel. It's almost 3 wide heading into turn 3. And someone does spin. It is Wavy Knife by the looks of it. Still alive here. Big battle going on back there. It's the MPs, and I believe that is an ART, as there's contact, and more contact. The MPs touch, and now Panda losing a position to Griffiths, and Titans around with AK. AK unleashing his inner terrorist today. Meanwhile, QBR Term has gained some positions, but Bourbon leads Corey Marshall, and then it's Jordan, and then it's Leon trying to hold off SLR Griffiths for P4, and Griffiths he almost gets overtaken by QBR Term and Rage Panda in P7, and there was a ghost moment there. I believe that was RPL Egg and AK. One DNF so far, it's Wavy Knife, and he has crashed in the second sector in that fast right-hander. Bourbon leads the way, and there is quite the battle going on here. And going down the inside, that is SLR Griffiths on Leon. You better watch out. It's Leon, and oh boy! Term almost feels the wrath of Leon as well. Leon keeping it clean though. And look at this! That's Panda down the inside as well. Can he hold the position? I don't think he will. Term will get the run on the outside, and Term will have P6 as AK dropping down the order. You can see him in the background there. And that's Term and Leon with making light contact as Term goes around the outside. Great move there. Leon falls to P6, and it could be P7 here as Panda challenges him, and challenge accepted as Egg and Leon make contact. Leon losing positions, Egg now losing positions. Egg's lost 9th to Flynn, or he's lost 8th, and there's a yellow flag. That is the artifact. He has crashed in his Prima. And Leon holding 7th. Green flag back in the air. As the battle for P7 continues to rage on, Flynn goes around the outside of Leon. Leon won't like that one bit as they collide, and Leon's around. Hard into the inside wall. And poor Leon, he has made slight contact with Flynn, and it has sent Leon around. Reviewing the footage, Flynn did not leave him too much space there. And he will be banned from the championship for colliding with Leon. And Egg has crashed! The defending champion, RPL Egg, has had a moment, and now he has crashed. With heavy wing damage, he's been overtaken by TMS Amazed, who is a ghost car. Up front, though, it's Bourbon and it's Corey Marshall, the top two. Jordan 3rd, Griffiths 4th after winning Sprint Race 1. He started 10th. And the Artifact making a pit stop in P18. P19 was Wavy Knife, who was out. And there's yellow flag, 6 crashed. Stig has gone around. The car looks okay. I don't see any damage. Behind him, he's got Leon, who unfortunately did crash. And now, that is AK really sending it there on Egg. These two, I don't know if there's history, but back up front, there is a battle ensuing for the lead. That is Bourbon Boy and Corey Marshall. Bourbon leads the championship. Could he leave as a champion, as there is a yellow flag? I believe that is Egg's demise once more. And Griffiths and Corey Marshall going wheel to wheel, and Corey Marshall must have come on second best. He's lost many positions, and the VSC has been deployed. Look at the Drivers' Championship at the moment. It's Bourbon Boy with 233 and MZQ with 140. And with MZQ not here, this is pretty much guaranteed Bourbon Boy as your champion. There's still quite a number of races left to go in this season, but realistically, this is Bourbon's championship. I can't see any other way anyone could challenge him unless he just straight up doesn't show up and MCQ or ACL or even AK just win every race from here on out. Wavy Knife holding on to P5 in the championship. Then it's Groggers, and then Jordan, who at one point led this championship as the green flag is back out. You got Flynn, Term, Panda, and Corey Marshall all in a 4-car train. 2 MPs, a Carlin, and a Campus. Let's see if Flynn can hold on to P4 here. Bourbon and Jordan still holding on to those positions, and I guess Corey Marshall really must have bottled it because he was running right with Bourbon, and he has as he pits. And Term has overtaken Flynn. for P4. Behind, or ahead, you got Jordan and Griffiths in P2 and P3, with Bourbon leading, and Egg is out. Corey Marshall, he's going to drop a lot of positions here. He's going to drop to the back, even behind Leon. Well, you got Rage Panda trying to battle it out with Flynn. You got Titan in P7. Of course, he started P2, but he had an incident with, I believe that was AK. And Wookie has retired in the pits. He's given up. Flynn. Could he chase down Term and mount an overtake into turn 1? I don't think he's close enough this time. Meanwhile, towards the front, got Griffiths and Jordan getting closer and closer. Could Griffiths mount an overtake here into turn 1? He's gonna... I don't think he will. Jordan defends to the far inside. Griffiths does set the fastest lap, but he's not close enough. And now Term sets the fastest lap. And I believe somebody's bottled in Sector 1. That is... Oh, that's just Wookie's ghost. Never mind. That is the Artifact also ahead of these guys, who's about to get lapped here on lap 6 of this 13-lap sprint. Meanwhile, behind the top 3, Term and Flynn still within DRS range of each other. Then you've got Padre and Titan. Padre, in his first race back in quite a while, he's had a long break. He does iRacing now. And Griffiths has had a moment. He has lost P3 to Term and Flynn. He drops to 5th. I don't know what happened there. But behind them, Padre and Titan still going wheel to wheel. I don't know what happened to Flynn. No, that's Griffiths. I don't know what happened to Griffiths, but he's had a moment. And now, it looks like Padre is going to overtake Titan here into this chicane. Not over yet. Titan holds the place. And Titan really putting some aggressive defense on. He'll hold the place. Could get a warning there as Flynn sets the fastest lap. I don't think Titan's going to hold the spot here as AK has spun it in the chicane. And here comes Padre down the inside. Padre clears Titan with a bit of contact. Titan could have minor wing damage. But now P7 belongs to Padre as AK has died in Sector 3, penultimate corner. Will there be a safety car? I hope not. Flynn and Term in the podium positions, and that is that's RPL Jordan. Jordan in P2 has now spun. They've been dropping like flies behind Bourbon, and now Bourbon, he's got a clear lead. And he might even get DRS on the Artifact. I don't think he will. Artifact's ghost is too slow, as Titan's also had a moment, and so has Griffiths. They're dropping like flies right now. And Griffiths drops to 5th. Jordan drops to 6th after being 2nd. The new podium is Bourbon, Term, Flynn, with Panda in 4th. Padre overtaking Jordan for P6. Jordan now drops to 7th. Groggers 8th. Amazed 9th. Liam 10th. And yep, Titan did have a moment, as Titan is currently in P11. And Griffiths and Panda now going wheel to wheel. Griffiths comes out best. And here's Jordan and Padre. Two Ferrari Academy drivers battling it out here. Padre almost spinning it. Lap 8 of this race. Your running order: Bourbon, Term, Flynn, Griffiths, Panda, Jordan, Padre, and Groggers rounding out the points. Currently, Term has jumped 10 spots. No penalties so far. Corey Marshall on soft tires. Marshall and Artifact have made a pit stop. And the fastest lap belongs to Flynn, as Padre has spun. Another crash. They have, like I said, they've been dropping like flies in this race. It's not been good. Padre drops to P8. I think, though, his car is okay. He's got the ghost of TMS Amazed behind him, and then it's Liam, who I believe is also a ghost, in P10. Titan is in 11th, Stig is 12th, Corey Marshall 13th, Leon 14th, and the Artifact lapped down in 15th. Bourbon holds a 2-second lead, which has actually dropped. It's been dropping a little bit. Term's been closing in, but Flynn is hot on Term's tail. And Griffith's trying to make up lost time after spinning early on. Term holding second place. We'll see if he can continue to hold it as Stig and Titan going wheel to wheel. Titan trying to hold the outside, which he'll try, and he is still holding on. Can he continue to hold on? He's got the inside. He's got the run out of the turn. He's got P11. He holds on. We'll have a look at the gaps between them. It's 3/10 between the Titan and Stig. And then the battle for P2 continues to ensue. But Titan, currently running 11th, outside the points. We'll see if he can improve at all on that position. Meanwhile, behind them, Bourbon's lost a lot of time to Term. And Flynn, not close enough, as he does a bit of weaving down the main straight. Meanwhile, behind them, is Artifact, Artifact's ghost letting him through. And Liam's ghost has lost positions. Titan up to P10. Can he hold on to it? Ahead of him, he's got the Ghost of Amazed and Padre. Stig, I don't think he's close enough. And Titan's got DRS to help himself defend even more. Stig, nowhere near close enough. He'll have to get way closer and find another overtaking opportunity. But Titan runs in the top 10, but of course in the sprint race, no points for the top 10. As he goes into P9, passing Amazed, his ghost. 2 seconds up the road, it's Padre, and then 11 seconds up the road, it's Groggers. Meanwhile, it's now an official battle for the lead. Bourbon has been continuing to lose time to Term and Flynn. This is not a sure victory for oh no! Well, now it's not a sure victory for Term. He has crashed it from P2. And the VSC is out. I did say it was not a sure victory for Term. Does he even have a front wing? He does not, and he has chosen not to pit. I don't know why. He's going to lose enough time not pitting rather than staying out. So, now it's just down to Flynn and Bourbon. 1.5 seconds separate them. I mean, hard to take a guess during the VSC. Bourbon, I thought it was going to be a battle between him and Term, but Term has crashed it. And Jordan gets a 20-second penalty for speeding under the VSC. His race is now even more screwed. I mean, he's got quite the gap between him and Padre and Titan. He might still be able to hold on to a point here, but it's the battle for the lead here, and you know Term's going to lose to Griffiths here in P3. We'll head to that real fast. I don't think Flynn's going to send one here. He does not. And here is Griffiths. Oh my goodness, Term's actually defending this. He has the grip to slow it down, and I don't know how. He doesn't even have a front wing. How is he managing this? Meanwhile, up front, it's Flynn, it's Bourbon, it's DRS for Flynn, and it's P1 for Flynn with 2 laps to go. NRX Flynn takes the lead from Bourbon. And Bourbon, he is getting closer to breaking the record for wins in a season, which is held by me, of 10. I kind of don't want him to break that, but Griffiths has finally overtaken Term, who doesn't have a front wing. I don't know why he hasn't pitted. Okay, but you're going to lose a lot of time, as Bourbon is going to try and overtake Flynn one more time. We've seen a lot of cars crash all over this track in this sprint race. You know it's not over. Bourbon, he could have a chance at sending one into turn 1 as we have 2 laps to go. The gap is 6/10. Flynn trying to hold on to capture a well-earned victory. He's gained 8 spots from his starting position. It's been a good race for Flynn, but it's not over yet. He's got 1 more lap to hold on to this victory. Can Bourbon send one anywhere on this track? Flynn is opening that gap to 8/10. I don't think Bourbon can do anything about it. Flynn is just looking like the faster car. Meanwhile, there's quite the battle here for P9 between Titan, Stig, and Corey Marshall. We'll see what happens with this as the battle for the lead is increasing as Leon has spun it in the second sector. Hopefully that he does not get in the way of the leaders, as Titan doesn't have much of a lead here between him, Stig, and Corey Marshall. One of them could send it into turn 1, but they choose not to. Stig tried to go around the outside, and now Corey Marshall is spun on the death curb. It's over for Corey Marshall. He will not be able to take P9 away from Titan and Stig. This has been a interesting battle here as Corey Marshall will lose out, but Flynn closed that gap to Bourbon, overtook Bourbon heading into turn 1 on the final lap, and now 1 corner away and out of the final corner. It's victory for NRX Flynn. Wins Sprint Race 2 here at Zandvoort and sets the fastest lap. Bourbon will finish in 2nd place, and after crashing early, SLR Griffiths holds on to 3rd. And I don't know how he's managed it, but with no front wing, QBR Term is finished in 4th place. Panda 5th. 6th. Gruggers in P7. Padre will round out the points in 8th. And Stig trying to pass Titan here at the very end. I don't think he's able to, though. Coming through the final corner, it looks like Titan is gonna be able to hold on, and he does. It's P9 for Titan, and Jordan does hold on to that 1 point after a big penalty for speeding under the VSC. 1 car left to finish. It is the Holy Goat Leon, but it's Flynn and Bourbon and Griffiths, your podium here in Sprint Race 2. Griffiths has had a good run so far. And apparently Leon's crashed again. I wasn't even looking at the screen. NRX Flynn gets driver of the day, And it's victory for MP Motorsport. Can't remember the last time they won a race, but they win today. All British podium. Flynn, Bourbon, Griffith. And it's Flynn on top. Griffiths took the fastest lap at the very end, and netting himself 10 points. Oh, actually, no, he didn't get the fastest lap. That belongs to Flynn. For some reason, it said he got the fastest lap. No, he did not. And then it's Term, Panda, Gruggers, Padre, and Jordan rounding out the points in Sprint Race 2. And having a look at your total points, or your total points tally, it's Flynn and Griffiths, P1, P2. Panda and Bourbon tied for P3. Wookie, Jordan, Term, Corey Marshall, Gruggers, and AK. And then Padre and Leon also picked up a few points. Padre picking up 2, Leon picked up 1 in the first sprint race. And now we head on to the feature. Who will be able to hold on? I believe it is Flynn on pole position. Yeah, it is. Flynn will have pole. We'll see if he can hold on to win it. And I'm going to have a look at the race results. And yeah, that is the first victory of MP in their first season back. So congratulations to the MP guys for picking up a very exciting victory there. Having a look at the season 10 results as well, I don't think any MPs won here either. And here we go. It's a wet race, it's a wet feature, and it's 5 red lights. And it's lights out, and away we go. Flynn does get away well. Term does not. Jordan gets a brilliant start here. Does Jordan send one into turn 1? Yes, he does. And they make contact. The top 3 collide. Flynn's around. AK's heading it off as well. And Egg leads Term and Jordan. Jordan having issues. Jordan goes around. And he's into the wall. An action-packed start here. Padre getting it all wrong as well. And it's RPL Egg, the Season 10 champion, leading the way. And there's some big accidents happening in the back. Padre's crashed. Stig's crashed. Wavy Knife just trying to stay alive this time. No DNFs through the first sector of this race, but it's RPL Egg leading. The Season 10 champ, the defending champ, leads this race. RPL Egg's last victory, round 8, in Belgium, I believe. Oh, no, that's just the most points he scored. I don't know. Actually, yeah, it was. It was in Belgium. Round 8 Belgium was his last victory. Belgium Season 10. We're in Season 11 now. Still the first season with these 2021 F2 cars, and it's Egg that still leads lap 1. And here is Bourbon and Flynn. Flynn is, after what happened on lap 1, he's made up ground, and Padre has given up. He's retired on track, which you can't do. So that should be a penalty coming the way of Padre. And he's given up and left. It's Bourbon in P4 with Flynn in P3. Corey Marshall 5th, AK Griffiths, Rogers, Panda, and Artifact rounding out the points. And, well, Artifact's a ghost car, so realistically, it is RPL Titan in P10 at the moment. And oh boy, Leon's had a moment, and he's lost P13. And back up front, a laggy RPL Egg trying to hold the lead from Term. Of course, Term was on course to potentially win Sprint Race 2, but collided with the wall. He didn't collide with anyone else. And, oh my goodness, Egg's bottled it. Jordan's out. Egg's bottled it. Term leads Flynn. And does Egg have damage? Yes, he does. Damage for Egg. That's a death sentence in the rain. And it's a very long train from P1 to P9, all within a second of each other. I don't know if this rain is going to let up either. But it's Term that leads Flynn. Egg, Marshall, and Bourbon. Your top 5 so far. Wavy Knife and Leon going wheel to wheel as well. And, yeah, rounding out. Oh my goodness! Egg has killed himself. That was not Griffith's fault. And Wavy Knife, unfortunately, has retired from all 3 races. And we have a VSC. An AK, with a suicidal move on, I believe that was Griffith's, has crashed, and now he's crashed again for great measure. Why knock 1 end plate off when you can knock 2 end plates off? Says the mind of AK. And oh my goodness, these guys are going wheel to wheel here. And these, let's see, in the full course safety car now. It's a full course yellow, and it's Term, Flynn, and Egg. And Egg has overtaken Flynn. Flynn won't like that one bit, and I think they did touch there. I wonder if the game is gonna be angry at them for overtaking each other. Wookie, at the moment, is the only one with a penalty. He currently runs 11th. We'll see if Egg pits. He does have damage. And some arguments going on between Jordan and Flynn, talking about the incident into turn 1. It's currently Term that leads. He got out there cleanly, and Egg decides he will pit under this safety car. A new set of wet tires being readied for Mr. Egg. Your top 5 now: Term, Flynn, Marshall, Bourbon, and Griffiths. As Egg will most likely fall out of the points. And now into the points goes Titan and Liam, but I believe Liam is a ghost car. Yes, he is. So, if Egg can get out there before Stig, which he doesn't, oh, no, he does. Will Egg be in the points-paying positions? Yes, he will. It is RPL Egg running in the points. Because Liam is a ghost car, he doesn't count. Actually, Artifact doesn't count either. So, it is AK, the next car in the points. Term asks Egg, "What are you doing?" Egg replies back with "Your mom." So, Egg, don't, alright, Egg. Egg does have the freshest tires of anyone right now. He does, I mean, he just pitted, he put a new front wing on, and he now runs 11th. And it's Term that leads this race. It's a long race here. Lap 4 of lap 19. And according to Term, the rain will let up at one point. So we could see a spell at the end of this race where they go to dry tires. It'll be interesting to see if that happens. And according to Term, he says it will be dry by lap 12. We will think about that. We'll see if it is dry by lap 12. So by the looks of things, it's likely be soft tires for everybody once lap 10, 12, 13-ish comes around. So, still a long way to go to that point. We're still behind the safety car. Still have a lot of cars that still need to catch up. Especially Leon. He's on the opposite side of the racetrack. This will be a long safety car period. In Constructors' Championship news, it is currently Dams with a massive lead over Campos and Carlin. Dams, of course, have won one Teams Championship in their history in RPL. That being, I believe, in Season 8. Which, I believe was... No, maybe in Season 7. Yes, it was Season 7, with AMS Horizon winning the championship. in the driver's side, and then the team side, it was Dams with 437 points. Which was a lot of points. I don't think the safety car is coming in this time, so we're going to go around one more time. As we still wait on Leo. Of course, the defending champions being Carlin, who have no realistic chance of winning it this time. Though they do have Carlin leading the way in the form of Term. Carlin have won 1, 2, 3, 4 of the last 5 seasons. But now it's gonna become 4 of the last 6, with Dams pulling away at the top. P2 does belong to Campus, which I believe would be the best run of that team's lifespan. And then you got UNI Virtuosi and Prima, P4, P5. And unfortunately, you got Trident in last place, with both Tridents out of the points. MP, MP9, that should improve. I don't think it's going to improve to P8. It's a long gap between them and ART. ART sat on 105, MP sat on 45. And did I see wing damage? I don't know if I saw wing damage back there, but I didn't. As we continue to wait on Leon. As Amazed and AK going wheel to wheel, overtaking each other. Will the safety car come in? Yes, it will! The safety car will be coming in on this lap, at the end of this lap. And Term will have to think about where he wants to go, or when he wants to go. Of course, nobody really thinking about the championship at this point. When does Term go? When? As Flynn is right on his tail. Flynn really wants to get a good reaction here. And there goes Term. Catches Flynn slightly off guard. Flynn will probably not be able to send one into turn 1. He thinks about it. He goes low. And Groggers completely destroys everyone behind them. Oh my goodness. Groggers had a moment there. He went through Corey Marshall. So we'll watch Groggers here. I mean, he completely sent it on everyone. I don't know how. Nobody has wing damage there. But it's Groggers holding P5. That was an interesting moment as AK overtakes Titan for P8. Titan trying to hold on to a point here. And that is Wookie trying to overtake Titan. Gets down the inside. Holding the position as best he can in that Guan Yu Zhou UNI Virtuosi car. And I think he has held on to it barely. As Stig tried to also get past, couldn't do it, lost the back end. Back up front though, you have a battle between Groggers and Bourbon. That's for P5. And Groggers holds the position after completely sending it into turn 1. And Artifact and Liam, 2 ghost cars, going at it here. But yeah, up front, it is Term and Flynn, P1, P2. I don't see any overtakes happening here. Minus Griffiths going around the outside of Corey Marshall. Can Griffiths hold that position? As they round turn 1, they're still wheel to wheel. They're wheel to wheel behind them, and behind them as well. Lots of wheel to wheel action here, but it's Griffiths trying to overtake Marshall. And I think he has done it. He's ahead by about half a car, and now it's a full car. Griffiths clears Corey Marshall, and Corey Marshall's bottled it! And Corey Marshall is out in the feature race. Lost the back end through the S's, and he is now out of the Dutch Grand Prix. And Egg ghosted through Titan there. That was not Titan's fault. Meanwhile, up front, Terms lost the lead. Terms said lap 12. We'll see if what he says is true. And Flynn trying to pull away here, which would be a win for him. Grogger's P4, P5. And Egg finally gets past Titan for P10. The last point. And Groggers has sent it too hard into turn 1. He's lost many positions. He drops to P7, which could turn into P8 here. He's got Wookie on his inside, which becomes his outside. Could Wookie hold the position? As he goes round the outside, I don't think he's going to get it. He's about a car behind, and now he's still just trying to hang on. He won't be able to. Wookie, unfortunately, will not be able to take advantage of that moment by Groggers, who has fallen to P7. AK in trouble. He's in P5. Of course, that first sprint race really did not do AK much justice. The Red Bull team principal trying to overtake the Mercedes Academy driver of Bourbon. The championship leader, after this, there will be 6 races to go. Four sprint races and 2 sprints. Bourbon, like I said, still sat in 4th. Up ahead, Griffiths trying to overtake Term. Corey Marshall has had enough. He has left. Having a look at the Drivers' Championship, it's 233 to 140 there. And Flynn holding P1 as he almost lost the back end up there. And oh, speaking of losing the back end, Bourbon has definitely lost the back end. And AK has overtaken the championship leader. Bourbon and MZQ, of course, are P1, P2 in the championship. MZQ not here. Gap between them, 233 to 140. Still a lot of points on offer. Championship could be decided in the next 3 races next weekend, but I don't think it's possible for Bourbon to win the championship this week. We'll have to see how many points he has scored. Finished P2 last race, and oh boy, Leon has had a moment, and so has, I believe that is Titan back there. He has had a moment as well, or Egg, one of them. Sector 2, yellow flag. That is TMS based, I think. Battle for 4th continues. AK trying to hold on to it. And AK holding on to it still. Meanwhile, up ahead of them is Term, and it's Griffiths. This is for P2. And Term might have to change what he decided about that weather, because lap 12 is coming, and Leon, I think, has given up with a 10-second penalty. And here comes Griffiths. He's on his inside. Back out of this. Ooh, he tried not to. Titan has overtaken P10. Nope, never mind. Artifact and Liam's pit, as does Amazed. I believe those are the ghost cars. They drop themselves out of contention. And what is going on here between Titan and Egg? Well, Titan doesn't have a front wing. That is an interesting turn of events. Something must have happened between them, because Titan has no wing. And we have a safety car again. So something's definitely happened between them, because that has warranted a safety car. So the maximum points I believe you can get in a weekend is 65 points if MZQ showed up. he'd have to do that at least twice. Yeah, I know. It's pretty much impossible for anyone else to beat Bourbon here. Bourbon, like I said, sat on 233. Add at least 25 points to that. So it's until we find out the final results of this race, we will see if Bourbon has locked out the championship. I think if he does well enough, he could be champion here. Let's have a look at the list of pit stops so far. AK's made a stop. Wookie, Stig, Egg, Leon, Artifact, Liam, and Amazed. All one pit stop, and Egg has sped in the pit lane. So Egg is also in for a pit stop, and I believe Titan is too. Position change, Groggers up 13 spots. It's been good for him. And then, of course, tire age. The guy is all in the back. Fresh, new, sticky, wet tires. And then Leon with lots of penalties. Wookie with a 3-second. Egg with a 5-second. And that's all the information I can give you. Fastest lap belongs to NRX Flynn, the only driver into the 130s. So, safety car deployed, and Egg is out of the race. I don't know what he's done, but Egg has DNF'd. See if anyone decides to pit here. Griffiths looked like he was, and then he decided not to. Rightfully so. He's P3. He's got good track position. Bourbon pits. He's going to forfeit all the points he had. He's going to forfeit quite a few points here for some fresh tires, but I think he will get out in time. Yeah, all the drivers are still ways away from him. No front wing change for Bourbon. He will come out in P8. So, Bourbon, 8th. Leon is in 9th place, holding up a fat train of cars with pretty much a wood plank for a front wing, as you can see. As that is Stig trying to overtake Leon as he bumps into the back of Leon. Probably telling Leon, come on, hurry up. I want to be in this main pack. We've all pretty much caught them. You got Bourbon back in 8th, who I believe is now on the freshest tires of them all. He is on the freshest tires of them all. Stig is also back there in P10 on a fresh, brand new set. And then, of course, all the Ghost cars on new sets and Titan. So, yeah, newest tires currently on Bourbon. Then in that main pack, it's AK on 8-lap-old tires, Wookie also on 8-lap-old tires. Top 3 have not pitted yet. And we will continue to wait this out. And I think Leon is just trying to be funny. He is just making everybody lose a lot of time. He is losing time to the safety car. That is just that. You might as well call Leon a safety car. Or should I say danger car? Because it's Leon. He's currently running in 9th place, trying to wait this safety car out as much as possible. It's lap 14, and the rain, it doesn't look like it's stopping at all. Flynn, Term, Griffiths, AK, Groggers. Your top 5 so far. And I think Leon is going to pit. He does. Leon will make a pit stop. He will go onto a new set of tires and a new front wing. Because look at that front wing. It is literally just, it looks like a plank of wood at that point. New front wing onto his car, into his high-tech. He'll change the front tires. And off goes Leon. And I don't think he's going to catch the lead pack in time. In F2 Season 12 news, next season's championship, as the safety car will come in this lap, Mr. L74G, the three-time defending F1 champion, will be racing for high tech in F2 Season 12. Of course, now it's legal for these guys to go race in the next seat in F2 now. F1 champions, or past F2 champions, can now go race in F2. NRX Flynn will lead us to the green flag. It's only a pack of 8 cars. As he waits, and he goes! Catching Term well off guard. Flynn will lead us to the green flag. It's an 8-car train, and the one at the tail end of this train is on the freshest set of tires. Wookie getting on that curb, somehow not getting it wrong on that curb, and down the inside goes SLR Griffiths on Term, who does have wing damage. Griffiths will try to hold the outside, won't be able to, but he's still hanging. Actually, he is hanging in there. Nearly alongside, but now he concedes the position. And there's a yellow flag, and there's Term going off track. Term loses P2. Flynn leads Griffiths, and then Term and AK. And that's Wookie trying to hold the inside there off of, I believe that's Bourbon. That is Bourbon. Of course, no DRS. It is wet, so that doesn't exist. Bourbon trying to overtake Wookie here. Round the outside, he holds the position. Well done, Bourbon, as Wookie and Panda go wheel to wheel, making contact. Bourbon on many lap fresher tires than the rest of these guys. We'll see if he can use those fresh tires to his advantage. Gruggers is the next car, as Flynn sets the fastest lap ahead of Griffiths and Term. It's just an 8-car train at the moment. Behind them it is Titan, who's got quite the gap between him and Stig. This could be 2 points here for RPL Titan, which I'm sure he would definitely take. And oh boy, Bourbon and Gruggers really getting close. Four laps to go here, as Flynn and Griffiths and Term remain your podium sitters. Rounding out the points, it's Stig, as Leon has binned it again in the third sector. Does this warrant yet another safety car? The yellow flag remains in Sector 3, and now it goes away. And, all the action happening in this lead pack. And then you have AK closing in on teammate QBR 20 Term. We'll see if AK could get any closer to Term, and oh, he goes. He somehow did not wreck there, AK. Somehow he didn't, I don't know how he didn't, but he holds on in that final corner. Once again, AK just does not have complete control of that car. Meanwhile, behind them, Groggers still holding off Bourbon on the fresh tires. And now Bourbon goes around his outside, deep on the outside, but he cannot take the position. On board now with Bourbon. Ooh, he does make contact with Groggers. Keeps it from spinning, though. And meanwhile, behind, Titan is losing time to this main pack, and he's also being caught by Stig. Stig will have to really continue to reel him in here. The gap's 4 seconds, 4.2. Now 4.1, and now it's 4 flat. He could still take P9 away. Of course, in the last race, he couldn't pass Titan at the very end. Meanwhile, up ahead, speaking of not passing, AK cannot get past his teammate. This will be a big points day for the Carlin team. And then in the Dam squad, it's Bourbon and Titan. P6, P9, nice. As Flynn sets the fastest lap in the MP. And here comes AK. He wants a go at his teammate. He wants a go at Term. He has the inside. And AK, it looks like he's gonna have a podium here for now. He gets past his teammate. Term loses third. Term losing that podium position with 2 laps left in this race. AK now into the podium places. And now, Groggers and Bourbon continuing to fight for 5th. Behind them, it's Rage Panda and Wookie rounding out the points. And Stig now closes that gap to 3.1. Now 3 between him and Titan. Titan might have to start worrying about that gap because Stig might be able to catch him here by the time that last lap comes to a close. Meanwhile, this battle for 3rd continues to rage on. But AK with a clean move on turn, down the inside into turn 1. Managed to successfully hold it and take 3rd place. A well-deserved podium for AK, who has struggled through this race weekend, but in the wet, he's really shined. But up front, Flynn and Griffiths will start the final lap, and Leon has given up and crashed out into turn 1, as Flynn sets the fastest lap, a 29.9. Blazingly quick by Flynn. This is yellow flag in the first sector. Behind AK, you got Groggers and Bourbon. Bourbon just has not been able to use the fresh tires as well as he thought he could. He's been stuck behind Groggers this whole time and just hasn't been able to get by. Meanwhile, the battle for 9th might become a battle here at the very end because Stig, it looks like he's gonna catch Titan here, heading in through that 2nd sector, which is technical, which means it won't be easy for him to get by. Meanwhile, the battle for P3 also rages on as, I believe, Griffiths has spun it. That ends any chance he has of winning this thing. This battle continues to rage on, and meanwhile, Titan has now been completely caught by Stig. Will Stig be able to pass him, though? Catching is one thing, passing is another. As quoted by the great Murray Walker, I'm pretty sure. I don't know. I have no mental brain. It's the cleanest way I can say without getting demonetized again. But coming out of the final corner, Flynn, he's won 1 race this weekend, and now he's won 2 races this weekend. NRX Flynn wins the feature race with the fastest lap. It's Griffiths in P2, and then AK does get on the podium. Meanwhile, behind them, Stig does pass Titan for P9. It's happened. Unfortunately, it won't be 2 points for Titan. It will be 1 point for and that'll do it. It's victory for NRX Flynn, and it's driver of the day for Groggers. A very good day by Flynn as he wins for MP Motorsport. A very good day for them. And it's fastest lap for Flynn. 27 points to his name, and it's a victory for him. And it's 60 points for Flynn, a massive points day. Bourbon picks up 20 points to his name. And on paper, let's have a look and see if that's enough to become champion. The Drivers' Championship, he has 233. You add 20 to that, and obviously you get 253. And you subtract that by the 140 points that MZQ had. AK, he picked up 17. We'll take 124 plus 17. He's on 141, which will put him in second place of the championship. The gap is 112 points between the top two. It's not over yet. With 2 rounds to go, Bourbon can lock out the championship in the next round. And Rage Panda, with a very satanic number there in P5, that is not nice to see. Titan, a pretty decent day. Of course, he picked up a point there in the feature race. That's good for him. Corey Marshall, bad day for him. 4 points in Sprint Race 1. Couldn't do anything else after that. And I believe Carlin picked up a lot of points there. 20 and 17. Not as much as MP, though. 60 points for just NRX Flynn. Then Rage Panda with another 18 to boot. They could maybe overtake ART, because ART scored 0 points. I don't think... I'm pretty positive ART did not show. Yeah, ART did not race here. Well, at least from what I can see. I don't see any ARTs. I don't know if ART is even in this championship. I truly don't know. But, well then, that is all there is for RPL F2. Next week, Bourbon will most likely lock out the championship. It's not over yet, but it's pretty much over. Join us next week at Monza for the RPL F2 Season 11 Italian Grand Prix. 2 rounds to go, 6 races left, and Mr. Bourbon Boy will most likely be crowned champion next week. Join us next time, and join us later tonight for RPL F1, who go to the French Grand Prix. The championship leader, of course, Mr. The Fake TB, and his teammate Joseph Loke. The two of them have pretty much been running away with it. Will they be able to hold their lead in the championship? Only one way to find out. Make sure you join us later today. I am your commentator, Beatnik714, signing off.